Hey guys, hey Dragon here, back here with another Hunter x Hunter video, and today I wanted to do a video replying to this comments. So thank you so much for commenting this. I completely understand all your points, and this is a sort of response video, but I've incorporated it into a video because as I read this comments, I had a lot of thoughts and I really pondered on it, and I came to the conclusion that what makes the Phantom Troupe is Meteor City. So in this video, I want to talk about the Phantom Troupe from a different angle, one which I've not seen people talk about, at least not to the capacity that the usual talking points are, and that's how Meteor City shaped the Phantom Troupe. Now, of course, in Meteor City, we know it's a city where no one has any hope. It's a city where people are essentially just objects, and they're there to be used to smuggle for crime or for cheap labor. And it's in that environment that, as we see in the Phantom Troupe's flashback, they're scrounging for anything they can get. They are a band of kids that just want hope, a future. They get excited over small things like the Power Cleaners DVD, and they really go crazy over trying to get the little pieces of treasure inside the dump trucks. And it really shows that the Phantom Troupe, beyond everything, is a group of kids with dreams. That's the essence of the Phantom Troupe, is people that have a vision for what they want in life, but got denied that vision. Now, I think often of this analogy saying, are you a good person because you're a good person, or are you a good person because of convenience? Now, of course, it's easy to judge the Phantom Troupe and to really be critical of them when you're not in their shoes. The thing is, for them, their childhood memories have been molded and forged by trauma. Sarasha's death really impacted all the members of the troupe, and in fact is partially why all their Nen abilities are so strong, because the resounding Nen they created from that emotion was just completely erratic and non-controllable. And it's in that moment of growth where Crollo decided that he needed to change. He needed to be someone that he wasn't himself, but he felt this Meteor City needed. The Phantom Troupe came and they became vigilantes, somewhat similar to the Batman, looking after Meteor City until they killed the people that killed Sarasa, and then afterwards they became the darkness they were trying to protect Meteor City from. The Phantom Troupe is a key case of people that lose their touch of reality. Now, what do I mean by this? In the end, us as humans right now, we are desensitized. By this desensitization, I mean online, when you look at a video, for instance, on Twitter, and you see someone getting hurt or someone getting killed, it's absolutely shocking. Of course, it still is. But it doesn't leave the same impact on us as if we saw it in our real lives. And that's because to some extent, we're seeing it through a different filter. We're seeing it from a sense of separation. And that's exactly what the troupe has. With their identity crisis, they view themselves as the lights within the trash. And they know that as people of Meteor City, their whole lives, they've had no hope, no dreams, no future. Everyone views them as expendable. So why should they view anyone else any different? But it goes further than that. In their quest for redemption and to, of course, avenge Sarasa, they get exposed to the true darkness of the world, and that's when they lose touch of what it means to be good and what it means to be a human. We see that Crollo, when he's confronted by Killua and Gon about, how could you kill people that has nothing to do with you? And he just looks up and he says, I'm not sure, but I know that the answer to that is the key to figuring out who I really am. And that's it. The Phantom Troupe are people that don't know who they are. The Phantom Troupe isn't a designated group set out for a purpose. Yes, they're vigilantes, they're thieves, and even as Hisoka says, they do philanthropic work. I butchered that word, but they go and they help out communities whenever they see fit. So it's not an organized structure. In the end, Crollo's a very clever person, and he's able to, manage the troupe so that they're successful in all their endeavors. But the troupe doesn't have the same meaning as something like the Hunter Association, where they've got clear goals, guidelines, and ways to get there. The Troupe is a group of personalities which are all molded into one. And that's why the Troupe now, they're deserted. They have lost their sense of strength as key components such as Uvogin and Pakunoda with key personalities within the Troupe. And that's what the Troupe is this blend of different personalities, this friendship, this brotherhood. Father figures are a very important role in Hunter x Hunter, and none of the Troupe have a father figure. It means that they've all become their own fathers, they've all gone their own routes, and they've all become their own god, so to say. They are people that are doing everything and anything to heal that inner child. That inner child, of course, being abandoned. What does someone that's abandoned want? They want the attention, they want to have everything they could desire, and they want to enact revenge over those that hurt them. And in a way, some Troupe members have taken this far more literally, like Phaeton, that puts people in the misery he feels himself, and even his Nen ability, Pain Packer, focused around physical pain. So other members, they've taken that and a different approach. We saw Pakunoda out of duty. We saw Machi out of her ability to heal people and to take out people in silence so that the discretion could keep all the other members safe so there wouldn't be another commotion. And we see in Krollo that his role is really to look out for his friends. In the end, the Phantom Troupe are a group of flawed individuals that are all hanging out together because they don't have a true sense of their identity or of purpose. They're all social rejects. We see that Bonolenov is from a clan that's not really heard of. He is an outsider. We see that Kaluto is an outsider within the Zoldyx who's going over for the purpose of saving her brother. We see that Illumi is this misunderstood, person of this weird love relationship with Killua, such as Pariston has with the Association, and every one of the members doesn't have anything straightforward about them. Everything about their lives are messy, and that means that they kill people they wouldn't otherwise have killed, and because they're so desensitized to it, it doesn't mean anything. To them, it's almost like giving a bunch of crayons to a toddler and expecting them to do what is right and not expecting to have drawings all over the wall. There is no integral morality or leadership or even just love within the Troupe outside of egotistical self-protection. The group is a group of wild animals. It's almost like if you could think of a stray cats and all a litter. In the end, the only thing they care about is eating and making sure no one else takes their food. And that's what the Troupe are. They can't comprehend the bad they're doing because they don't comprehend anything beyond themselves. In the end, what they've done is they've made their purpose intertwined with themselves. Their purpose is to die for this Troupe, this spider, this idea of loyalty and unity. In the end, that's the beauty of it, is that even though there's nothing clear, concise, or even really admirable about the Troupe, there is a sense of love that comes from their sense of conviction for each other. They all have the same purpose and the same goal, and that's what makes them so strong. No matter what happens, there's this unity, there's this brotherhood, this sense of oneness. Of course, we saw that Uvogin was shocked when he thought, maybe there's a traitor among us, and the fact that even Hisoka betrayed them came as a big surprise to everyone. And that's because the Troupe all have no place in the world. There's a great parallel between the Phantom Troupe and Gyro, in the sense that they don't have a place in society. They can't be anything other than the Phantom Troupe. Who are the Phantom Troupe when they're not the Phantom Troupe? They don't have that place. They don't have something to fall back on. And when something is all you're trapped by it. It's like telling someone who's been smoking by it from a young age to stop. It's all they know. It's their culture. In the end, the Phantom Troupe are just polished criminals. It's like the koala from Hunter x Hunter. The koala wants to think he's better than the other criminals, but in the end, it's just a different color of rubbish. And that's what the Phantom Troupe are. And it's in this realization that they're all going to collapse within themselves as they've overestimated themselves. They've been cocky. They've been moving about as if they can just impose their will on absolutely everyone. And what's going to be interesting about it is how Togashi is going to deconstruct the Troupe. Because he already has. Our impression of the Phantom Troupe over the arcs of the series has changed. And the more and more we see them, the more and more we get flashbacks and we get looks into their characters' mindsets. And within that murky grey area of senselessness, there's a beauty to it. Because the Phantom Troupe parallel ourselves. It's a struggle for identity, this struggle for having a place in the world. In the end, the Phantom Troupe are all about reputation, about integrity, and about being the greater cause of a big movement in the world. A movement of control, a movement of not being tied down by authoritative figures. The Phantom Troupe are their own sovereign community. They're almost like their own government in a sense. And that's what makes it so intriguing, is just how much they all value each other. Because each part of the Phantom Troupe is part of each other's identity. You can't look at a character like Uvogin and not talk about other characters. Because in the end, all these characters are so intertwined within each other, just personality-wise and their everyday habits, that they can't live alone or separate. Yes, they've spent time away from each other, but they're always pulled back towards each other. And it's the more and more we see of the troupe members dying and falling, the more and more we see that connection really tested, and we see just how much they are one in soul, in units, and in person. This expression that comes to mind when I think of them, perfectly imperfect. There's a beauty in how flawed they are. And in the end, I can't rebuke anything, of course, this comment says. All I'll say is, I would appreciate the manner in which it's executed. Because the Phantom Troupe is a bit of a stereotype. They're like other anime groups, such as the Akatsuki, of course the Espada, but it's the execution and it's the tonalities and the way it's nuanced and placed together within the chemistry of the group and their role and purpose of how they came to be that separates them from those other groups I mentioned. And that is how Meteor City shaped the Phantom Troupe. In fact, in essence, the Phantom Troupe is just a more precise characterization of what it means to be a citizen of Meteor City. They are people that are forging an identity out of nothing. And it's that key concept of building from a shaky foundation that makes it so uneasy. They have nothing to fall back on. They're all in. And when someone has nothing to lose, it's what makes them most dangerous. Everything with the troupe is a gamble, and it's a gamble that sure is exciting and keeps us enriched and, of course, addicted to what they're doing. Every arc that includes the Phantom Troupe automatically gets better. And that's because there's something that just grips certain parts of our souls that don't really get touched upon in other mediums. The Phantom Troupe really talks to us out of who we could have been if things went differently. So, this is my video on how the Meteor City shaped the troupe. If you got a suggestion for videos you wanted me to do, please leave it down below in the comments. I do all the videos you guys suggest. I've recently had a suggestion about Illumi against Crollo, so I'm going to do that video. So, with that being said, I hope you've all had an amazing day. I appreciate you all so much, and appreciate all the help that you guys give me. And yes, that was Hadrugon. Peace out.
羽ばたいたら戻らないと言って目指したの